This week on Rifle Football Weekly, we have highlights from Rifle's big win over Moffat County. Head coach Damon Wells gives us insights on the 2014 season, and we sit down with junior running back Ty Leva. Welcome to Rifle Football Weekly. I'm your host, Aaron Diaz. For the past 4 years at riflefootball.com, we've produced highlights of the Rifle Bears football team. This year, to deepen your appreciation of the game, we've produced this show, Rifle Football Weekly. Each week, we will have highlights, coaches' interviews, and student profiles that will bring you out of the stands and right here in the locker room. First up are our game highlights. Last year, the Bears ended their season with a heartbreaking loss to eventual state champions Coronado High School. But the Bears are coming back strong in 2014. Their hard work showed off against their Week 1 opponents, the Moffat County Bulldogs. Take a look.
With that, Coronado will win this game 34-31. And unfortunately for Rifle, that will end the 2013 football season.
We have a lot of people that have been in the program for quite a few years, and there have been some recurring themes of things that we've talked about before we've gone out to play. With this group, you guys have put so much into the last time we were in a locker room together in Colorado Springs, right? And last night we got to go see a pretty special movie, I thought. And what struck me is there are a lot of recurring themes between movies. There are a lot of recurring themes between the things that we talk about in here. We talk often about brain space. We talk often about being physical. And in a couple movies, they've talked about be perfect, right? And then last night, remember what he talked about repeatedly? Perfect effort. And I think part of the reason that resonated with me is there are so many things you can't control. But what a great thing to have in your mind. And when we talk about brain space, we want to get rid of all the rest of it. But we got to think about something, and why not perfect effort tonight? You do everything you can. And perfect effort means dedicating that brain space and eliminating distractions. Every time we make a call, offensively, defensively, consider your role and how you can put forth perfect effort. And that's locking into what you should do. It's your time. Every team leaves a legacy. We've talked about that many, many times. And this is where yours begins, man. So whatever you do, and your quest to put forth perfect effort, think about just for 1 second, 2 hours from now, and how good it'll feel if you use your brain space and your effort to make this group as good as it can possibly be.
Center Brock Clark going to move in motion from his left wing back. They run the play action. And back on the trap on the inside to Ty Leva. Leva's going to take it down the heart of the field, go untouched. Up tempo, now they sweep to Brock Clark from the left wing. He's going to cut it upfield in the middle between the hash marks. He'll go untouched into the end zone. Right, taking the strong side from the left. The handoff's going to go to Brooks Pressler in the fullback position. And he's in the end zone from 11 yards out, untouched. Pressler inside the 5, spin move back to the middle of the field, and he's in for a touchdown.
Takes the handoff, throws up the middle, and it's intercepted by Leva. Great hands by Ty Leva.
He's going to go untouched into the end zone for a Rifle Bears touchdown.
They've got the football again. Stutzman will look to go to the air for the first time, and he's going to come near sideline. He's got a man, it's Bouchard. He's behind everybody, and it's a touchdown. The Bears from 48 yards away, it's their first aerial attempt of the ball game, and it strikes gold as Bouchard gets his first touchdown of the season, and Rifle leads 33-0 with 3:41 to go in the quarter.
As you can see, the team looks strong this year. We sat down with head coach Damon Wells to hear what we can expect from the Bears in 2014. All right, Coach, you've had a lot of success here the last few years with Rifle. Tell us about how you've sustained that success.
I think it's hard work, and I think it's completely and totally a testament to the kids that we have here. That we ask our kids here to do, in my opinion, an unusual amount of work. And our kids embrace that. Their parents embrace it, and our community embraces it, because ultimately, if people aren't willing to do the work, then your scheme, your plan, your desires don't really matter. So we've hit the jackpot in that regard.
So last Friday's game, Moffat County came in here, and obviously they're having some struggles, but I mean, I think their kids played really hard. And so how do you keep your team, going for a game like that, and that you don't get them to have, swelled heads over it?
Sure. We tend not to focus on our opponent. I think we go out of our way to make sure our kids know, and we think and feel that every week is the same. We care mostly about us and our approach and how we can get better every single day. So who we're playing on a given Friday night doesn't faze us too much. And I think that's helped us be successful, honestly, in some of the bigger games that we've played, because it would be foolish and naive of me to say every week is just a typical week, because obviously there are different feels around certain games, but game week's game week, and our goal is to be prepared to put on our best show on Friday night at 7 o'clock.
And one of those things that plays into that is, you have a game go the way that Friday did, and then you start thinking about, well, should I pull my starters, and should I, start playing some of the younger kids and things like that. And when does that decision, when do you try to make that to?
I think the decision on how to handle a game like Friday night is different each and every week, and it could be a negative because you're faced with when to pull your starters, but we absolutely view it as a positive, because every kid in our program puts in a tremendous amount of work, and it's fantastic for some of those younger kids or the kids that don't play a great deal to be able to play on a Friday night in front of their fans, in front of their parents, and in front of the community.
Looking ahead to Moab, what are some things that you guys are going to try to focus on this week?
We think it's going to be a tough environment, because winning and being successful is absolutely something that you can be more or less accustomed to. And with the success that they've had down there, playing in the state championship game last year, they're well prepared and well versed on winning. So when we go down there, we know that what they're going through this particular week is not the norm for them, because they don't lose often. So the way we explained it to our kids is we feel like, to a certain extent, we're walking into a situation where a dog's backed up in a corner, and we've got to go get it. Absolutely nothing's going to be given to us. It's a pretty hostile environment, and it's also going to be totally new, because this is not a team that we play on a very regular basis. We've played them once before in the past, and I remember them being very well coached and it being a good high school football environment, and we really look forward to that.
And is it hard taking the team on a long road trip like that?
Not, I think to a lot of people, it's a challenge to travel, but life on the Western Slope is such that a trip like this is just not that big of a deal to us. To be frank, we look forward to road trips like this because it gives our boys an even longer period to be together, and ultimately it's going to prepare us for all those other trips during the course of the season.
So you've had some coaching changes this year. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those?
We are very excited about the changes in the staff because for the first time ever in the football program's history here, we have 9 coaches on staff. And a lot of people are making sacrifices in different ways to make that happen. We're incredibly aware and thankful that we have a staff now that has combined to coach in 21 state championship games and has won over 35 league championships cumulatively. So it's a very experienced staff that has witnessed a lot of different things or experienced a lot of different things. So when we face those trials and tribulations that come along with every season, we're not going to have to make up what we're going to do on the fly. That most of the time we can say that we've been there, and I think experience is sometimes a painful lesson. And we might not know what to do, but we know what not to do. I think every now and then an opportunity comes along that is such a fantastic experience, and you might not even really grasp the full magnitude of that greatness, that goodness, until long after the fact. And the fact that John Arledge has chosen to be with us this fall means the world to us. I think our boys are gonna learn and grow from it because it's a different perspective, and obviously a tremendous amount of experience and knowledge. And not only are our boys going to learn and grow from it, we as a staff are going to learn and grow from it. We're fortunate in the regard at Rifle High School that most of the people on staff have been here. More than a few have played in the program, and that's fantastic. I don't think you can replace that. At the same time, it's always wonderful and powerful to have someone's experience and input and perspective that has just seen things from a different way. And I think this one, I think the reason in particular why having Coach Arledge on staff with us is so great is he's played against us all those times. He hasn't been on the front range just watching from afar. He has been on the opposite sidelines from us, and we know each other very, very well. But on top of all of the football positives that he brings to our staff and our program and our community, he's a great person. And we look forward to that because anytime you can have great people to surround yourself with, you're going to be better for it.
What were some of the things that you really wanted to have the team focus on going into that first game of the season?
We definitely wanted to minimize turnovers, so we were happy that we were able to minimize turnovers. Like you referenced earlier, we had some coaches in different spots and new roles, and it was great for them to be with us on a Friday night so they could have that experience. And honestly, just the communication piece. The kids communicating with one another, the coaches communicating with one another, and ultimately our communication with the kids. And honestly, there were a few hiccups, mostly from the staff, and we can absolutely work to get a little bit better.
How long does it usually take for a coaching staff that's new and some of the newer kids and everything like that? How long does it usually take for a team to gel?
I think it depends on the situation. That if you have everybody that's new with no experience, it's going to take a significantly longer amount of time. To me, the beauty of what we have here is the coaches and the kids that are new in different roles or situations are really experienced. Joe Kost, our center, is a first-year starter, but has been coming to Rifle High School football games for a decade and has been in the program. This is his 3rd year, and he's an incredibly bright kid and a fantastic human being. So that definitely lessens the learning curve.
And that's part of what I wanted to get to with you as well is I mean, I think you're big on trying to instill that whole sense of history and of legacy with this team. And how does that play into your thoughts of what you try to do for every team?
We're fully well aware of our history and where we came from. We're also well aware enough to know that not one person on the staff or in the locker room is the person that made that history happen. That It's a long line of people that contributed in many different ways, many different great ways, that sacrificed to help make the program what it is. And I think our coaches and our kids are just thankful to be a small part of that and to try to maintain that tradition and that legacy to pass it on sometime in the future.
Thanks, Coach. Now, that brings us to a new segment, the Play of the Game, brought to you by RCR Performance. With so many great plays, it was hard to pick, but here it is, your RCR Performance Play of the Game.
But they've got the football again. Stutzman will look to go to the air for the first time, and he's going to come near sideline. He's got a man, it's Bouchard. He's behind everybody, and it's a touchdown. The Bears from 48 yards away, it's their first aerial attempt of the ball game, and it strikes gold as Bouchard gets his first touchdown of the season, and Rifle leads 33-0 with 3:41 to go in the quarter.
Thanks again to RCR Performance for sponsoring the Play of the Game. Now, on to our first student profile. We sat down with junior running back Ty Leba and asked him a little bit about himself and what his expectations were for this season.
I'm a junior at Rifle High School, and I usually just spend time with my family and stuff. So as far as the team goes, I think it's a really good aspect because we're all kind of a family and brothers, and we all hang out together. Like, I'll go fishing and then a bunch of other guys show up with us. So as far as a team, it's a really good aspect as family. I haven't really looked at a whole lot of colleges because we're usually busy with everything, but I'd like to go into something financial, like accounting, or maybe a sports agent or something, because the math and everything just adds up for me.
So, how long have you been on the varsity team?
I was here last year on varsity as a sophomore, so this is second year varsity.
So what kind of expectations does Coach Wells put on you guys as players to make sure that you are performing at your best?
He says to give our best effort, just every play. And when we went and watched that movie, When the Game Stands Tall, we talked about it before the game. He said, give your perfect effort every play. So I think that's the expectation, even in the weight room, every rep, at practice, every rep, just perfect effort.
And how's that going to play? I mean, a lot of coaches like to instill those kind of values in their players, and it's something that, you know, after a while it may sound cliche or something like that, but I mean, how have you taken it to heart, or have you, or is it something that really, I guess, plays a part in who you are as a person?
Yeah, I think once you see everyone else doing it too, it really starts to hit you too. So everyone kind of takes it personal and they give their best effort, not for them, but for the people next to them. And I guess that kind of just goes within a lot of our lives in school and with our family, that we try to do the right thing.
What is it that you try to do to help out the other, the younger guys coming up? Because I mean, you guys have had a lot of success lately, and what is it that you're trying to do to, make sure that that continues on?
I guess with the younger guys, we take them in and we take them to our team dinners, and sometimes we'll just go hang out and we'll ask them to come with, so they feel like they're part of this. And it's just, you give your best effort and then the guy next to you will do it, and then it all just kind of snowballs together.
So what are you excited about this year?
Just to play with the guys. I like the group that we're with right now because it's a really tight-knit group.
Are you guys putting any sort of expectations on your season? Are you just trying to, play it out game to game, or how are you guys? What are you guys thinking about for yourself, for your own personal goals?
Probably just game by game, just to play together and have fun and do what we can with it.
What do you remember most about Friday's game?
Probably just like after the game, everyone was happy. And then we all kind of came together, and it was just one of those feelings that everyone felt good about it. So it was good to be close with all of them and experience it together. Coach always tells us that we have about 24 hours to celebrate it, and then we got to kind of move on. And so we game plan for it, and we'll watch our film, and we got to just keep our focus on the next game and the next play.
And so what are you looking forward to next week when you guys are going to Moab?
Probably just the team experience again, the bus ride all together. usually pretty fun, and the game and everything about that.
Well, that's our show for this week. We want you to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure you listen for our previews every Thursday morning, 9 a.m. on 95.5 The River. From all of us here at riflefootball.com, thanks for watching.